Oh boy, this is going to be the most infamous review I've ever done. The Playmates Shin Godzilla. The final figure I am missing, or I've been missing for the longest time from my Wave 1 of Godzilla and Kong Classic Series Playmates line. And ironically, he was the first one to be revealed, or well, him and Space Godzilla, once at least. And then I think Destroyer, Kong, and Gigan were found later. Like, is that how it works? But either way, this one was one of the first two to hit the store shelves, or at least ones that were found. So I'm going to be doing something a little different with this review. Instead of going it like judging it super critically, I'm going to be a little more fair on this guy. And the reason why is because I feel like people don't understand the circumstances of what happened. Just for a brief history, GVK the original plan was for GVK to release in March. Playmates already had a ton of figures ready to be released, judging from the leaks. The movie got delayed, and under still with the contract of Walmart, they had to scramble and produce some Godzilla and King Kong toys for the market. So they came out with this, and that explains why everything has a big rush job, which now brings us to the figure. The overall figure is casted in a multitude of different plastics, from like rubbery plastics, or just flat out rubber, and hard plastics. And I know it uses the NECA mold, which is it's an interesting stance, but like, why do they mold it like this with one arm going like that and one arm like downward? I have no idea. The head looks goofy as heck. Almost looks like something out of the Muppets. I even made a meme about that a long time ago. I think so. But yeah, he has oatmeal for teeth. His tongue, or well, he doesn't have a tongue, but his mouth is like just pure red. There's no detail to be found at the top of the mouth. Just looks like, again, a Muppet with teeth. The eyes are surprisingly accurate for a Shin Godzilla. And it's weird how SH Monster Arts, a $120, near $200 figure, will derp up its eyes. Playmates does not. Come on. This is beating you, SHMH, in the eye department. The claw paint is just slapped on. There's no shading, but again, under the circumstances, that's perfectly okay. They tried to color in the little rib cage, vein stuff, and they even put some red markings on the thighs, which I wasn't expecting, but hey, nice addition. Claw paint's looking okay too. Mine's a little bled on this toe, but that's nothing too bad. The base, or sorry, the outer most rare rows of dorsal fins are painted, not the interiors like the Bandai vinyl. And these spines are painted. These rows of the tail are painted. These rows of the tail are painted, and the tip from tail of here to here is painted. And that's kind of about it for the paint department. Everything else is just a pure black plastic. And by the way, I will admit, since they do use the NECA mold, the sculpted details that are found might be dumbed down without the missing tail spike, obviously. But it is such a nice sculpt. I got to admit, it truly is. But again, the posture is just kind of weird. Is he like trying to fight another monster? Is he just shocked to see himself in the mirror for the first time? Like, what is this pose? Someone explain to me. Anyways, for posability, yes, I'm going straight there. We have a rotation at the head, rotation at the shoulders. The legs are hindered like the rest, so you can only go up about that far, back about that far. Yeah, only that much. And rotation at the foot. This leg can go up significantly more, like that far back, and rotate at the foot. Once again, we have the tail, which don't rotate it so far this way, because otherwise you'll split it, and don't rotate it too far this way either. And the reason why I don't even want you to rotate it at all is because if you look closely, I'll zoom in, you will see it's starting to scrape up against the plastic. Not necessarily the best quality yet, but again, knowing or theorizing the circumstances of this guy, that's perfectly understandable. And we might have, honestly, the most coolest joint out of all of them, the base of the tail, sorry, the end of the tail, where it is on a ball joint, so you can get some mild up and down, side to side, a little tilt, and a rotation that actually has a full 360, and you don't have to risk breaking the figure. No, there's not a bendy wire in this thing. Trust me, I've tried. And for a size comparison, moving my camera a little bit, here he is with the Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong figures that were released significantly after, and oh boy, am I surprised, because I thought he was going to be the same size, if not bigger, than him. But turns out it's vice versa, and Shin is the bigger one of the two, and Kong here looks like he's about to ruin Shin's day. Also, if anyone's going to ask, no, it is not compatible. I think you'd have to rest it a certain position because there's no peg hole in there, but yeah, it's not compatible. And here he is with all of the Wave 1 Playmates Godzilla and Kong 6-inch figures. I'm a proud owner of all 5 of them. And here he is next to my latest Godzilla, or I guess second latest Godzilla, the Playmates Godzilla 2004. Also, coincidentally, I got these guys like less than a week of each other, and to my amazement, they are exactly the same height, or at least kind of. Shin's a tad bit taller, but you'd have to really go down to the centimeters or millimeters in order to really see that. So, also, in terms of tail length, there's no contest. Let's give Final Wars a little bit of a chance. There you go, he tied him. His whole body is just as long as Shin's tail. And for the last size comparison, probably a moment you guys have been waiting for, the Bandai Movie Monster Series original, the MMS bootleg, obviously the Playmates, because that's what we're reviewing, and the NECA Atomic Blast version. Hopefully I can get the original version, that we can do a little bit comparison with this guy, but for now, and I know you guys want this, the figure showdown between these two will happen. I know some people have already compared them, and I'll also be mentioning this guy in there as well, but just for the most part, they're going to be these two. So, as a whole, he's alright. He's not as bad as people say it is, and once you take into account that, like, okay, how do I say this? There are some good aspects. For example, he's got really nice sculpted detail, and his articulation's actually above average for the basic vinyl figure. But his paint is atrocious, but it's forgivable once you realize the circumstance Playmates was in. And the build quality, again, is cheapo, but again, you also got to remember the circumstances. That being said, if you're just going to judge this based off an actual figure, like against what you can get on the market, he's awful. But once you take into account the circumstances, he's pretty good, or at least decent. So I'm going to give him probably a 6 out of 10. Or 7 out of 10, maybe. Yes, I did just rate him that high. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.